another each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Dong, ding, dong, dong. Sorry, it's just the sound the thing makes. Yeah. Hello. Good afternoon. Do a little bit of sharing here. Meow. That would be Jack. I got 4 cats. And I can tell you the meow of each one of them. Huh. Hi, Jack. Yeah, you're turning into a really good kitty. He's our newest one. I think he was still kind of a kitten when we got him. He was living on the streets. Skinny, skinny, skinny. Now he a fat fart. He's fat. He is. Come here. Where'd you go? Come here. Yeah. This is Jack. Jack's a new one. Look how fat he got. Look at it. Look at it. I mean, when I first got him, you could see his ribs. And anytime I pet this one, in comes the other one. As he gets all jealous. It's all jealous. All right. I'll wait till a 3-minute mark here and then we'll kind of get going. Since I don't have a topic quite yet, I can't really preview it. But, man. Something feels weird in the air. Like there's just, I don't know. Feels closed-minded. I don't know. Just think something feels a little weird. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Because maybe it's just me. But I don't know. It feels like people are, maybe it's the holidays or something, but there's a lot of big emotions going on right now. So I'm checking this stuff out. Okay. That's good to know. This is my backup. That's the one that I was kind of using. But I got my Yeti to work again. That's convenient. So, I mean, it is a fine microphone. That's what it's called, fine. But I got my Blue Yeti to work, and I got it set up to where even, because it was kind of going out, but I got it set up to where it's not doing that anymore. I put it on something stable. Sorry, just fixing my camera here so I can come in a little bit. I don't have the thing set up quite the way that, where am I going to put this? I'm going to set it here for now. Okay. So random reading from the big book. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to Google here. I'm going to ask Google to give me a random number. Should just bring it up. Random number between 1 and 1. No, not kill day. 164. And that number is 139. 139 is the winner. Don't worry about it. You know what, Ingrid? I'm going to tell you the way I see it. Let me tell you the way I see it. Okay. You decided that you could take 5 to 7 minutes to come and join me. Let's look at this the right way. You're busy. You've got children. You got a family and those are all priorities before this. Bet your ass. Yes. Okay. Do not ever feel bad, guilty, or anything else. I do this so randomly. How can you plan it? So you don't need to feel bad. All right. You're my friend. You've been fucking supporting me for years. So please don't feel bad about that. Okay. All right. So the lucky number was 139. 139. Leisure, good to see you. That was a lucky number. So we're going to go to 130. And I turn right. And I turned right to it. It's in Two Employers. That's why I like doing this. All right. When was the last time you read anything from Two Employers? And you're probably like, well, I just read it with a sponsee yesterday, Dion. So how about fuck you? All right. Let's get this going. Welcome. Only the second? Yeah, I forget that I have kids and I'll be talking to them. But, you know, my kids are adults. I treat them more like roommates than I do my children anymore. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. I'm proud of my kids. They, you know, they moved in, a lot of stuff going on, and they've really worked through some things. So, but yeah, that's hilarious, Ingrid. Thanks for the laugh. Looking for the third stepper. Okay. So Two Employers is going to sound weird because it's right in the middle of a story. So I'm assuming this was an employer who was working with somebody and they had a slip. All right. If you just got here, we're in the big book on page 139. That is the random number given to us. I thought I'd challenge myself a little bit. Instead of just coming up, thinking of a topic, preparing, you know, so I always learn more when I just randomly kind of do something. All right. For your accurate reading of what? All right. So, if you are here for discussion about what we're doing, that's great. But you do not get to come here and use my platform in order to make money. So that will be your one and only chance. If you'd like to participate, great. I would love to have you here. But if you think you're going to come to my place and make money, you're wrong. Okay? So I'm going to remove this one. I'm going to let you stay. Okay? Actually, I can't do that. So I'm going to go ahead and keep it. All right? Okay. All right. They left. So I'm going to go ahead. Actually, I'm not going to do anything in case they ever want to come back and they need help. So, okay. But I will not tolerate any of that stuff here. Okay. And I will just block you on Facebook and other stuff. So let's not do that. All right. Presently, the man did slip and was fired. Following his discharge, we contacted him. Without much ado, he accepted the principles and procedures that had helped us. He is undoubtedly on the road to recovery. To me, this incident illustrates lack of understanding as to what really ails the alcoholic, and the lack of knowledge as to what the part employers might profitably take in salvaging their sick employees. Thank you, Ingrid. Thank you. Yeah, you know, so the man slipped, but he was given chances, you know, I'm presuming here. You know, an employer doesn't really want to get rid of it costs money. It's a business. It's about money, my friends. You know, even then I see things on Facebook and it's like, they're like, your job will, you know, you'll be replaced if you die. Well, yeah, you will. That's life. That's business. That has nothing to do with you personally. They need to refill that position or they can't help the next person. So you're saying that you're so darn important that they shouldn't rehire. They should just go ahead and retire your position. Okay? No, that's not how this works. So, but let's get to kind of what they want us to know. If you desire to help, it might be well to disregard your own drinking or lack of it. So they've created a challenge here. It's like, well, how about your drinking? Love it. All right. Whether you are a hard drinker, a moderate drinker, or a teetotaler, You may have some pretty strong opinion, perhaps prejudices. Those who drink moderately may be more annoyed with an alcoholic than the total abstainer would be. Drinking occasionally and understanding your own reactions, it is possible for you to become quite sure of many things which, so far the alcoholic is concerned, are not always so. As a moderate drinker, you can take your liquor or leave it alone. Whenever you want to, you control your drinking. Of an evening, you can go out on a mild bender, get up in the morning, shake your head, and go about your business. To you, liquor is no real problem. You cannot see why it should be to anyone else, save the spineless and the stupid. So, this is great, isn't it? Because what are they confronting here? Stigma. Yeah, this is a stigma. And how are they doing it? Well, they're not doing it by saying, well, you should do it. They're not fighting, are they? No, they're not fighting here. What they are doing is educating. And when it comes to stigma, it's all you can do. Ghostbusters. I tried to do my hair before this was so out of fucking control. All right. There, now it's better. When dealing with an alcoholic, there may be a natural annoyance that a man could be so weak, stupid, and irresponsible. Even when you understand the malady better, you may feel this feeling rising. And I tell you what, I'm a recovered alcoholic when that happens to me. Sometimes it just annoy the hell out of me. People annoy the hell out of me. Yes, they do. Especially, the dumping. Well, it's the same problem. Now, why is this annoying me? Because it reminds me of me in a past Dion that used to exist. So for me, it's a little different. For them, I don't know. Should they take a look at that? Hey, why are they annoying me? Well, you spot it, you got it. It's really only for alcoholics. I don't know how non-alcoholics do that. A look at the alcoholic in your organization is many times illuminating. Is he not usually brilliant, fast-thinking, imaginative, and likable? When sober, does he not work hard and have a knack of getting things done? If he had these qualities and did not drink, would he be worth retaining? Should he have same considerations as other ailing employees? Is he worth salvaging? If your decision is yes, whether the reason be humanitarian or business or both, then the following suggestions may be helpful. So whether it's humanitarian, and a lot of times now, okay, here's the thing. They can't fire you for your alcoholism. Love you, Ingrid, if you go to them. But you got to go to them and say, hey, you got to go to HR and say, hey, man, I got a problem. And, people in HR don't usually work in HR because they hate people. They go into HR because they're good at it. Usually, the person in HR anymore is usually a recovered alcoholic or addict. They're usually in recovery now. Just how it goes, man. Right? But these people usually have a servant heart. Okay. Can you discard the feeling that you are dealing only with habit, with stubbornness, or a weak will? If this presents difficulty, rereading chapters 2 and 3, where the alcoholic sickness is discussed and at length, might be worthwhile. You as a businessman want to know the necessities before considering the result. If you concede that your employee is ill, can he be forgiven what he has done in the past? Can his past absurdities be forgotten? Can it be appreciated that he has been a victim of crooked thinking directly caused by the action of alcohol in his brain? And that's going to be a tough one, right? Because aren't we talking about people's values here? And that's going to be a tough one to decide for a business person. Not only that, but they say, well, if you don't quite understand, go back and read the first couple of chapters. Is it the employer's job to do that? No, it is not. I know. Kind of a sticky wicket. It is. But, as an alcoholic, don't I need to start taking responsibility for my actions? And maybe losing that prominent job gives them the desperation to get into the program. Maybe that'll happen. I don't know, because These are very broad situations. But I think it's kind of conceited to have an expectation that somebody needs to go read up on me to understand me a little bit more. At the same time, I don't understand me. So how am I going to explain it? Well, that's where this kind of comes in. That's where it comes in. I well remember the shock I received when a prominent doctor in Chicago told me of cases where pressure of the spinal fluid actually ruptured the brain. No wonder an alcoholic strangely irrational. Who wouldn't be with such a fevered brain? Normal drinkers are not so affected, nor can they understand the aberrations of the alcoholic. Okay. I'm gonna take this to an ounce an hour. An ounce an hour for alcohol is not for alcoholics. That is for people who drink normally, not us. No. See, we drink so much, it starts to do things like attach to the stem of our brain. And it can reverse somewhat. I think I've kind of lost some of my memories. Quite often I have to ask my wife sometimes, and even then, I can't bring that memory back. I can't. It's gone. It's alcohol erased it. So that's the scary part. It's not quite dementia, but it does make for a fevered brain. Then add on top of that, I'm not sleeping, I'm not eating right, I'm not taking my meds. A lot of things compounding. Good evening, Patricia. It's good to see you. Your man has probably been. It might sound a little weird, Patricia. We are in 2 employers. I'm only going to go about 5 more minutes because I have to set up for the 5 o'clock meeting. So, your man has probably been trying to conceal a number of scrapes, perhaps pretty messy ones. They may be disgusting. You may be at a loss to understand how such a seemingly above board chap could be so involved, but these scrapes can generally be charged, no matter how bad, to the abnormal action of the alcoholic on his mind. When drinking or getting over a bout, an alcoholic, sometimes the model of honesty when normal, will do incredible things. Afterwards, his revulsion will be terrible. Nearly always, these antics indicate nothing more than a temporary condition. Yeah, there you go. They say if you want to get to know a man, walk a mile in his shoes, walk a mile in their shoes. You want to get to know a person, walk a mile in their shoes, right? Yes, I had to change that. It's an old saying, but I changed it so it fits today, right? Absolutely. Yeah, and that perception. Because what you guys think of me and what I think of me are, I tell you, they're different things. They are different things. This will not say that all alcoholics are honest and upright when not drinking. No, they're not. That's just the quick answer. No, they're not. I didn't know what honest was. I mean, I could admit that I did something, but that is not honesty. That's just admitting I did something. The honesty portion is that I need help. Do I need to do this? Do I need to do that? Okay. Of course, that isn't so, and such people often may impose on you. Seeing your attempt to understand and help some men will try to take advantage of your kindness. If you are sure that your man does not want to stop, he may well be discharged. The sooner, the better. That's a good way to put it, Patricia. How sincere are they? Okay, and it'll come across, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. But what they don't follow through with really is, I won't do it again. You know, there's no action. Because for us, for an alcoholic who says they're not going to do that again around alcohol, sorry means I plan on doing it again. That's all it means. At least that's what it was for me. I'm sorry. I'm going to go drink. Literally. In a literal sense. Right? So So what I say, the sooner the better, right? You are not doing him a favor by keeping him on. Yep. What is it? What is it that we're trying to find? It's the willingness. Do they recognize the problem? And that's where that sincerity comes in. You know what? You know what, boss man? I think I might have a drinking problem. Now we're working with something. But until that point, yeah, you should probably just let this person go. Right? And you'll probably be doing them a favor, but don't say something, I'm going to do you. You'll thank me later. That kind of shit. No. That's crap. Firing such an individual may prove a blessing to him. Yes, it may be just the jolt he needs. I know in my own particular case that nothing my company could have done would have stopped for me so long as I was able to hold on my position. I could not possibly realize how serious my situation was. Had they fired me first and had they taken the steps to see what I was presented with, the solution contained in this book, I might have returned to them 6 months later. A well man. A lot of mights in there, though. And a might can never really be something solid. It might be, could have, would have, should have. None of these really account to sobriety, right? But losing your job, it's a big fucking deal, man. Especially back then. That's gonna. And what does an alcoholic think on that? Well, reputation. Right. Well, I'm going to have to go home and tell my wife or husband I lost my job. Well, that's going to provide financial insecurity. And can you blame that person if they said, well, hey, we got to pay bills. I'm moving because you ain't working. Now we've lost something else. This can get people closer to sobriety, the elimination of shit. Okay. And we call this the bottom. We call this the gift of desperation. And it is the hardest part. It's the hardest part. And as a recovered alcoholic who helps alcoholics quite often, it's hard. God, do I let this person go or do I keep trying? See, when you're not in this situation, the answer is pretty easy. But when you're in it, it's a fucking torture as hell. Especially if it's for a humanitarian reason, then it becomes even harder. At least on the business level, the right thing will probably get done. I hate to say it that way, but at least on a business level, the right thing will get done. Well, this person is costing me more money than they're making. I got to let them go. That might be better. All right. So, but there are many men who want to stop, and with them, you can go far. Your understanding treatment of their cases will pay dividends. Yeah. So I've heard quite often, I hear this all the time, where somebody was working for a company, they went to treatment, and they came back a better person. And within a couple of months, the fact that they were gone for a month was negligible because they had done so much, because our gratitude goes up. Hey, you believed in me. You created agency for me. You held on to me. Now I'm going to give you more. That's also an alcoholic thought. Yeah. They'll stay late. They will do anything as long as they can get to their meetings. Yeah, they'll do anything. They will bend over backwards to help you because you did that for them. It's pretty neat stuff. Perhaps you have such a man in mind. He wants to quit drinking and you want to help him, even if it be only a matter of good business. You now know more about alcoholism. Okay. You can see that he is mentally and physically sick. You are willing to overlook his past performances. Such an approach is made something like this. Okay. Now I want you to notice a word that has not appeared here. God. And it's not going to be brought up here. It is not for the employer for them to say, well, you need to find Jesus. You need to get to church. It's not for them to do, right? What is an employer? Well, they're a pathway to recovery. Yes, they are. All right. State that you know about his drinking. See, when you're armed with when you're well armed with facts, and that it must stop. Now, as an employer, you get to do that. You have the authority to do that. Hey, as a sponsor, as an alcoholic, I don't get to do that. I provide options. I lead. But the employer is in a position of power in this case. But it cannot. If he continues to drink, a firm attitude at this point has helped many of us. Yeah, even the threat. Hey, this can't continue. You cannot keep, this cannot keep on. What do we need to do? Next, he can be assured that you do not intend to lecture, moralize, or condemn, that if this was done formally, it was because of misunderstanding. If possible, express a lack of hard feeling toward him. At this point, it might be well to explain alcoholism, the illness. Say that you believe he is gravely ill person. With this qualification, perhaps fatally ill, does he want to get well? You ask, because many alcoholics being warped and drugged do not want to quit. But does he? Will he take every necessary step, submit to anything to get well, to stop drinking forever? I really like that they're taking this and putting it in AA terms. This is kind of the same stuff that we do, but it's from a different position. Now, this person being well informed is going to say, well, I know where some AA meetings are. I'll take you to it. Okay? Because this is work to the employer. If he says yes, does he really mean it? Or down inside, does he think he is fooling you and that after rest and treatment, he will be able to get away with a few drinks now and then? We believe that a man should be thoroughly probed on these points. Be satisfied he is not deceiving himself or you. Well, I would probably tell the employer, listen to your intuition. You've been hiring people and working with people for a long time, and I think you probably know better on whether this person's just blowing smoke up your ass. But I got some time. I'm going to just do a couple more paragraphs here. Whether you mention this book is a matter for your discretion. If he temporizes and still thinks he can never drink again, even beer, he might as well be discharged after the next bender, which, if an alcoholic, he is most certainly to have. He'll have it that night. Let me rephrase that. I would have it that night. Yeah, okay, whatever. And I've been fired quite a lot. I have. He should understand that emphatically, either you are dealing with a man who can or will not get well, or you are not. If not, why waste time with him? This may seem severe, but it is usually the best course. It is. That's the hard part. Right? Because it's the opposite of holding space. It leads for more isolation, but at the same time, yeah, we can't have it. And why is that? Because us drinking alcoholics are dangerous people. Very dangerous. After satisfying yourself that the man wants to recover and that he will go to any extreme to do so, you may suggest a definite course of action. For most alcoholics who are drinking or just getting over a spree, a certain amount of physical treatment is desirable, even imperative. Detox. Alcohol withdrawal will fucking kill you. Not only that, but the work can't start until the alcohol is out of the body. Remember that ounce an hour that I talked about at the beginning? No, that is not for us. That is not for us. No. 28 days on average. On average. Me, it took months. It took months. Anyway, the matter of physical treatment should, of course, be referred to your own doctor. Yeah. Whatever the method, Its object is to thoroughly clear the mind and body of the effects of alcohol. In competent hands, this seldom takes long, nor is it very expensive. Okay. As long as, I can't really go into much more on that, or otherwise I'll sound like a doctor. Your man will fare better if placed in such a physical condition that he can think straight and no longer craves liquor. If you propose such a procedure to him, it may be necessary to advance the cost of treatment, but we believe it should be made plain that any expense will later be deducted from his pay. It is better for him to feel fully responsible. See, treatment didn't used to be paid for by insurance. Treatment was at a nominal cost. It was, and anybody could really access it. It's not that way anymore. So if a person can't go to treatment, because there's a lot of people I know, they don't qualify for treatment, or they have to go to a Medicaid bed. A treatment center isn't full of Medicaid beds. They never survive. They wouldn't make it according to their own, because they want to make a certain amount of money. And so when you call a place and you have Medicaid, let's say they have 20 beds. Well, whatever the state requires out of 20, whatever that state requires out of 20 is how many beds are available. And they're probably full. There's probably a several month waiting period. So what can we do? My answer would be AA. Celebrate Recovery, Wellbriety, one of these smart recovery, one of these groups that you can go to, even if you're going to go to treatment and it's 30. Why are we just saying, why don't you sit around for 30? This person's never going to make it to treatment. They know this. But guess what? They still get to charge Medicaid for that one day, kind of like jail. So it is a little different now. And we have to realize that. Insurance usually pays for it. The company doesn't pay for it. But I think if treatment was nominal and a company could pay for it and you take it out of their check, wouldn't that be taking responsibility for your actions a lot more than letting insurance pay for it? I do. We call it skin in the game. And now that it's gone, it's taken away a layer that gets us and keeps us sober. So we always have this process of replacement. So, all right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I got to open a room in about 20 minutes here. For anybody that would like to, got a 5 o'clock meeting, grassroots meeting. Tyler's chairing today. Yay, I don't have to chair, but I'm hosting there. Okay. So if you'd like to go to that, let me know. And I will send you the link. And of course, anybody except for Mr. I want to, what is he in? All right. I'll do this after you guys are gone. I just need to go to my group and kick him out. So, all right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I really do. It's good seeing everybody. Yeah, Patricia and Ingrid. Leisure's here. We had another dude who was kind of screwing around. That's okay. I love you. Absolutely. Oh, hi, Michelle. Absolutely, I will. You got it. Starts in about 35 minutes. So, it's good to see you, honey. I love you. Peace out. And